Okay, so in the last class we discussed about how to add a user, right? So this is a user to minimize. Uh, okay, how to add a user we discuss, like a user add is a command to add a user, and how to verify. So tail minus 3 slash etc slash passwd, tail minus 3 slash etc slash group, tail minus 3 slash etc slash shadow id. So to verify user information, group information, and password information. How to change user password? So that is a user one. So someone came, Monica came. So Salman is pending. Okay, no problem. Next, to I want to add a user. I want to add a new user. Some people will tell add user. Some people will create user. Some people will Linux user, something whatever it is. So I use a word called add user. I'm adding a new user to your Linux. So when I add a user, if you are observed from the user one, here it is. Okay, if you are observed from the user one, ID user one, so user ID group ID is same. Sorry, username group name is same. It means there is a group which is created by while you are adding a user. The user is created. Okay, sorry, user is created while user is creating. That time you add user one. That time only automatically a group is getting created with the same name of that username, and this user's primary group is like user one primary group is user one only. So instead of that one, I'm going to create a new group. Next time when I add a users to the groups, and I will add it. The command is to add a group is groupadd. Command I'm using here is a name is called group add, and group name is group one. Earlier days I use a example actor and actress type. So here for the first one or two, so we use common names. Later we can use another names also. Okay, so group add group. Now group is added. So how to verify this group is created or not? Anyone? Which file I have to verify for groups? Group. So group one is created, and group one group ID is 1002. Group one group ID is 1002. And also I want to verify user. Okay, I have a user one, and 1001 is a group user ID. 1001 is a group ID. Okay, so user one group name is a user one, and 1001 is a group ID. But I created a group one, and 1002 is a group ID. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a user. I'm going to add a user. Username is user2. Username is user2. But this user should not create group with the name of user2. Okay. So when I enter, if I enter like this, what will happen? User2 user will be created, and user2 group will be created, and user2 user is added to user2 group. So that's a big part, right? So what I'm going to do is I use minus small g. Small g represent primary group. Small g represent primary group. So I'm putting a group name here. So what is that meaning? Already group one is created, right? Already group one is created. Okay. Now while I'm creating user two, so I'm adding a user two. The user two will be created, and user two primary group is group one. Now user two primary group is group one. Enter. Now ID user two. Just can you see user ID 1002 and user 2, user name, group id 1002 group 1, because it's a group 1, group id is that one. I didn't change the group name, group id, so I use a default one only. So next only to add. So groups is group 1, not user 1. If you compare from here to here, if you are comparing this one to this one, check it. The group name is user 1, here is a group name is group 1. How it is possible? Because I given an option -z space group 1. Okay. For example, I'm going to create a group add -z, okay, -z 1200. Okay, 1200 is my group ID and group name is group 2. If you want to verify, then check it. And you see, that is my group ID. Group 2 group ID is 1200. I'm going to add user 3 to group 2. See, user 3, the sequence user ID is a 103, group ID is 1200, and see, group is 1200, group 2. Okay, I'm adding a user -z 1200 user 4. Okay, so this is last. You can have it. Now ID user 4. See, user 3, user 4 are in the same group, not separate group, and not this one. But user 2 is a separate group. Okay, and user 3 and 4 in a same group. Okay, user 3 in a separate group. User 1 group is user 1 only. Here the group naming is changing. Ah, afternoon, noon. I eat very less only. I don't have a time to eat also. Very less food, but still I'm getting sleep. Very dangerous. Another one is tail space -3 or 4, -4 5. So, okay, slash etc slash passwd. From you see, the student group ID and user ID is 1000 and 1000. User 1 user ID group ID 1001 1001. Sorry. User 2 1002 1002. But here 1002, that's a different group. It's not a user 2 group, it is a group 1. See, if you observe user 3 and user 4, getting a group ID is the same. They are in a same group. Okay, another command is group. Can you see? User 1 group is there, student group is there, user group 1 group 2 group. So you can see their group IDs also. But why it is not showing user numbers here? Group 2 having two users, right? Group 2 having two users. It's not showing here. And group 1 having one user, that is not showing. User 1 group having user 1 user, it is not showing. For student it is showing. I don't know why it is showing, but generally, okay, it is not showing. Why it is not showing? If a user is a primary group member, so it won't show here. Default we can get it. If user is for a user, our group is supplementary group, then it will show. Okay, that's it. You got the point, guys? How to add a group? How to add a So first of all, we have to verify the information. Okay. How to remove this change? I created in a different ways and adding different. Okay. So this is how to add a user to a primary group. So user's primary group is like this. It will come up. Okay. So what is the difference between adding a group like this? Adding a group. How to add a group? Like adding a group like this. Okay. So this is actual command, right? Okay. This to this one. So what is the difference here? What are the group ID is there, whatever the group ID is there, it will take the next group ID. Like already 101, 102, 103, 104 is there group IDs. Now I'm adding a new group. Automatically group ID is from the sequence number only. Okay. So here I specified a group. I don't want to take any random group ID like a sequence group ID. I want to specify a particular group ID only. So which is available. Okay, which is available like that. Okay. So while you are adding a user, so there is not only these options, there are a lot of options also there. But I want to jump to the modify user. So how to modify the user? Command is usermod. So what do I want to modify? So not this here. What I want to modify. Okay, see here it is ID user one. My user ID is showing like this. Um, User ID is 1001 and username is user1. Group ID is 101. Group ID is use 101. Primary group, that one, right? So otherwise you can see cat space slash etc slash passwd. Don't use cat now. It will generate lot of big output. So -5. Okay, it is showing a student user 1, user 2, user 3 group. So these are a group information. User one is there already, so it's a primary group. Now I want to change user one primary group. So try to understand. So I want to modify my user things. For example, if I check ID user one, so you can check user one primary group. So primary group is user one only. Try to understand. Now I want to change it. I want to change it. The primary group. Now I want to change it to group one. So what will happen? How to change a user's primary group from user one to like this? Okay. So uh, we have a lot of windows in background, so I get confused. Okay, this is a user one ID. So you can see it is showing user one only, and here it is. This is nodes, and this is the one root. This is the root, right? Okay. How to change it? User mod for modification of user things. User mod. You can put man space user mod or info space user mod. You will understand what is it is. Now I want to change the primary group, right? So then primary group means small g. Primary group means small g. So I want to add this one into group 1. Here you can specify a group ID or you can specify the group name also, no problem. Okay. Earlier days we have to specify the group ID only. Now we can put a group name or a group ID, no problem. And user name. So what user you want to add it. So I'm changing my user 1 group ID. Primary group, not just any group. So ID user 1. See, earlier it is a user 1. Now the group name is user 2 and group ID is also changed. And if you see observe user 1 group ID is sorry user ID is 1001 and group ID is 1002. If you see user 1 group still existing, but user 1 uh, actual user 1 group is still existing. User 1 primary group is group 1 is also there in that one. So you can see group 1 group ID is 1002 and we can understand user 1 in group 2. So you can see here this is the group ID and this is the group ID. It means user 1 is in this group. And also we verified with ID a command and also we can cross verify with the list. Okay. Here this is user 1 already login. So ID, okay, it is not affected here. You know why? Because we are logged in, but after login, user one is login. Already it is login to PC, but meantime the settings are changed by root, so it is immediately won't affected. You have to exit from the here and you have to come back again. So you have to exit from the terminal again. You have to connect it. Otherwise you can't get it. Okay, so I change my primary group to group 1. So this is a one kind of modification. Here I want user 1 present primary group is, now after changing what is a primary group, group 1. Now I want to add, no I'm not changing it, I want to add this user to a supplementary group. Group name is group 2. I want to add this user 1 to another group called a group 2 as a supplementary group, means secondary group, means user 1 in group 1 and as well as a group 2 now. Okay, it is already in a group 1, just we added. Now we are adding this user to another group as a supplementary. Primary group is only one, supplementary can be multiple. So anyway we don't have any supplementary group now. Okay, that's why I'm adding to group 2. So user 1 adding to group 2 as a supplementary group. Now how to add it again? So I'm going to put a clear command, so you can view. Okay, this is user 1. I put a clear command. So user add, the user mod hyphen capital G, okay, hyphen capital G group 2 to whom, to user 1. Okay, so user 1 primary group is, sorry, 1 second again, I type ID user 1. So user 1 in a only one group, that is a primary group, group 1. Now user mod space hyphen capital G group 2 user 1. This meaning we are adding a group 2, sorry, we are adding a user 1 to the group 2 as a secondary group or a supplementary group. Now done. So then check with the ID. See, primary group is group 1 only. GID is showing that is a primary group. But here it is and two groups are showing like a group 1 2000 1002 and group 2 is a 1200. Okay. So it meaning is the primary group is group 1, secondary group is or a supplementary group is group 2. The ID number is 1200. So this is about your group modifications. Next. And if you verify other things like tail space 5 slash etc tail spelling mistake, see. Okay, if you see group 1 it changes group earlier and now, right? So it's still 1002 only. Okay, not 1200. The user 1 group ID is still 1002 only. Why? Because it show only primary groups only. And if you go to the group 2 and it is showing user 1, it means for user 1 group 2 is a supplementary group, not primary group. It's a supplementary group. Okay, group 1 is a primary group, group 2 is a supplementary group for user 1. Okay, and next, how to delete a user. So I'm going directly everything one by one. Okay, how to delete a user. So that is our last part is available, right? How to delete a user. Okay, here I put a command for this one or not, so I didn't put a command. So user mod -g group 1 user 1 user add. Why I'm telling the things in two times like user add and user mod. Modification after user creation. But when you're creating that time only, while you're adding a user, that time only you created starting with all these conditions, then it is better. Usually, like sometimes you need a modifications, so you are using a modification command like user mod command. Now delete a user. Okay, here, sorry. Okay, so here if you see, this is user one. If you put a double pwd, it means it shows your present working directory. Present working directory is /home /user one. So I'm in root now. ls space -l /home. Check it. Test home. What happened? What are the directories are there in a under /home directories and files? It will show here. And if you see the permissions, that the first part of permission, user permission, is there. So only a user can able to access his own profile place only. Like user one can access user one only. User two can access user two only. Everybody cannot access the data from other users. They can access from. Okay. So these are the group means location of the users data folders locations. Whatever the data it is there, but this is the location. Okay. Now if I delete a user, the user related information should be deleted. Like so we'll see. I want to delete user 4. I want to delete user 4. So how to delete? Userdel user 4. That's it. So how to delete userdel user4. Now delete it. Is this folder is there? Yes. Can you see? User port folder is there. Only student, only user ID change it to user for that 1004 and group ID is group 2 only. So userdel user4 means we can able to delete a user entry. So one second, tail space 5 slash etc slash tail space minus 5 slash etc slash passwd. Can you see user for there? It is not there. Can you see user for? Not there. And group user won't be there, so we can't say it is only group information. So what happened here? We deleted a user, so you can't see user information in passwd, user for information in shadow. Anyway, we can't see that one. But if you see the directory, so in the directory we got a user for. That inside of directory in home directory it is showing user for. It means if you delete a user using a command called userdel, okay, it won't delete home directory. All entries of a user information will be deleted, but what will be remain? Slash home slash user for, okay, for directory still remain. If you don't like, so when you are deleting a user, the users folder or a users directory, home directory should be deleted. Okay, so okay, how to delete this one also? Okay, so how to delete user del minus 3, sorry, mine is not working again, minus r and user 3 for example. Okay, so user del space hyphen r user 3. Now I'm deleted. mm, Group passwd user 3 is gone compulsory. Okay, right. Next one is shadow, you know already. um, that's it, that's enough. Okay, id user 3, no such a user, very good. Okay, now last one, ls space hyphen l slash home, that's it. Can you see user 3? We can't see it. Okay, so we cannot see user 3 here also. When you delete user 4, you just delete the user 4 user only, but you are not delete the user 4's data. But here using hyphen r, so user del space hyphen r user 3. So because of hyphen r, it delete every entry in the system, so it includes your directory also. So that is the difference between this one. So what you will do, so create a user and delete the user, that's enough. So this is about your basic user administration, lot of options and all there, but up to now this is enough. I will tell some user modification things also. Okay, take a break for another 15 minutes, so if you are not sleeping, So have a tea or something. Come back earlier. Okay. Take 15 minutes. Means 4:20. Take a break. Have something, tea or coffee. Don't sleep in the class.